Hi guys, this is a quick video on how to properly use your remote control. A lot of people just take to flying without, taking the time to sit down and learn how to use their Vivitar Aeroview remote control, but I think that is too risky to do, and you may damage your drone or, incur some other property damage. So based on the request that a lot of people have been sending to me, that I should make a quick video on how to use the remote, just explaining some of the functions of the remote control. So for demonstration purpose, I'll be using the Sky View and not the Vivitar Aero, because mine is currently, I'm making some modifications on it right now. So um, I'll just use this Sky View just for demonstration purpose. Actually, they're both similar in how they operate, just some few minor changes, but this is the Vivitar Aero remote control that I'll be explaining. And this other one here, this is the remote control for the Sky View, but we're not talking about that right now. Okay, firstly, let me just give you a walkthrough on the various buttons that this remote control has. Let's start from behind. On the left side of the remote control, we have, and underneath it, we have the one key takeoff. So on the left side, your left hand, underneath, right here, you have the one key takeoff. I'll explain how to use it later. I just want to go through all the various keys right now, and then excuse me, you have the speed. You can control your speed from here. You have slow, medium, and you have 30% and 60%. And then you have, still on the left side, you have the throttle stick right here. You have the throttle stick, and then you have the on and off button right here. You have the on and off button. You have the orbital shot. You have the return to home, orbital shot, return to home, headless mode, directional control stick, geomagnetic calibration, and then you have here the full speed, which is 100% right here. So remember, there's the slow, medium, and the high speed right here. And then you have the geomagnetic calibration key. Okay, so, and then on the right side, underneath, this is the left, the right side, you have the one key landing. So this is the one key takeoff on the left, and then underneath on the right side is the one key landing, takeoff and landing. All right, of course you have the antenna and that one. Alrighty. Okay, firstly, if you have never flied a drone before, it is always good, to read through the instruction manual. Make sure that you familiarize yourself with other functions and keys of this remote control. And even if you are not too experienced pilot, it's always good to read the instruction manual. And if necessary, read it several times, go through it, make sure you're familiar with a lot of the keys before you attempt to fly. And before you want to fly, maybe for your first, or whenever you want to fly a drone actually, You have to place your drone on a clear and open field. Make sure that it is resting on a secure surface. It has to be on a open area, secure surface, and flat as well. And then you practice using your throttle stick, your throttle and your directional stick by simulating the remote control of both sticks. Okay, so now once you put your drone on a flat surface, okay, you turn it on. I'll just use this one for the demonstration purpose. Once you turn it on, in the Vivitar Aeroview, the propeller is red. So behind, not the one underneath the red, but the one underneath the black propeller should turn green once you have linked it to your remote control. And how do you link it to your remote control? Turn it red, all the light starts flashing, you turn on your remote control, and then you push this joystick, the one to your left, up and bring it down. It should link the remote control to your Vivitar Aero. And then what tells you that it is properly linked, the backlight should turn green. Not the one underneath the red propeller, but the ones underneath the black propeller should turn green. And if it doesn't turn green, it may mean several things. One is the connection between the remote control and the drone is weak. It may also imply that you have poor GPS signal, or you are at an area, if you're using Wi-Fi, that your Wi-Fi is not strong enough. So make sure that before you try to fly your drone, it should be green. The light should be green at the back of the drone, not blue. It is always preferable for it to be green. And when it is blue, several ways. You can let it be for a while, which is usually annoying, and then the light will turn to green, or you can just move to another clear spot, another open area, and then try it out there. Usually that's what I do, because I hate just sitting there waiting for it to turn green. So I just move from spot to spot whenever that has occurred with me. Okay, so now we have turned on our drone, and then turn on our remote control, push up, bring it back down. It links your remote control to your drone, and then the light underneath is green. One of the mistakes some people do is they use the left joystick to go up. It is always not advisable to use the the joystick to go up, because we have on the left side underneath the takeoff button. Practice to use the takeoff button. It raises the drone, I think it's a foot and a half, and then it hovers at that point. Then from there you can go any direction. But once you hit the throttle stick, once you hit that, it might push the drone too far, or you might not hit it up straight. Maybe you might go at an angle, thinking that you're pushing up straight, you're pushing at an angle, and then it causes the drone to lift up at an angle, or turn over, or fly off too fast and too hard, So firstly, you have to use the takeoff button to lift it up. And once it is now hovering on the air, about a foot and a half, or maybe two, then you can now decide whether you want to go up, down, left, right, or whatever you want to do. So To ascend, to make the drone go up, you use your left joystick and push forward away from you. You push it forward, that's the up position. Or you, if you decided that you wanted to bring it a little bit down, you push that same joystick down. So up is for, you push it forward, the left joystick, down, the same joystick. And if you wanted to turn around, so you wanted to turn it to the left, you have to push that same left joystick to the left. If you wanted to go at an angle, say a 45-degree angle, your drone is facing that way, and you wanted to go at a 45-degree angle, you have to push to the middle. Just like driving a car, just visualize that same scenario. Push it over there diagonally. And likewise, if you wanted to turn it all around facing this way, you push it. And you don't have to push too hard. Just push it gently. And if you want to make it turn, if you want the drone to turn around and keep turning around, it's just a gentle push. So you could be flying forward and want to make a left turn without stopping, and then, or a U-turn. You while pushing forward, you can push it slowly to your left, and it will make a gradual U-turn. But that's something else that I'll have to demonstrate outside. And let me just keep going with the button. Of course, we have the power button right here. And then if you want to go forward, it's the right joystick. Forward, backward, go to the left, go to the right. And then remember, this right joystick would cause the drone to fly to the, if you push it to the left, if you push this to the left, it causes the drone to fly to the left. I'm sorry, I'm talking about left, I'm going right. If you cause it to push it to the right, like this, it causes the drone to fly to the right. But whereas on the left joystick, if you push it to the right, as opposed to flying to the right, it will turn to the right. So that's an important factor to note. So if you want it to turn, if you want the nose of the drone to turn to the right, you use the left joystick and push it to the right. But if you want it to fly all together to the right, then you push it to the right. Likewise, if you want it to fly to the left, you push to the left as such, gently. The whole drone will fly to the left. And then, if you want it to fly downward, of course, bring it down, you turn it around. And then if you want it to go up, you push up. So it is very important. If you can master those differences, then you're a long way, ahead with flying this drone. Again, for a quick recap, turning is the left, moving the whole drone is the right, moving it up, moving it down, moving it to the left, or moving it to the right, it's the right joystick. It moves the whole drone. Whereas the left joystick is just changing the direction of the nose, mostly. Yes, if you want it to go down, it goes down, up, and then turning it around the left. If you want it to go forward, reverse, to the left, to the right is the right joystick. So I think that's enough of that. And then if you want it to fly on headless mode, this is the button you push right here. Headless mode. And what does that really mean? It means that the drone will recognize where the remote control is at and then work in accordance with how you push your joystick without actually taking consideration of where the nose is. That is, if the drone is turned this way backward, for example, and the nose is facing you, normally when you push forward, right, it should come towards you. But once flying, it should come towards you. But when flying in headless mode and you push forward, it will go backward. That's a simple way to push it. So in essence, sometimes it's good to train. If you're new to flying drones, it's good to fly in headless mode so that even if you lose your line of sight or you lose recognition of where your nose is, you will still be able to control the drone and bring it back home, without trying to figure out which direction is the nose facing or that. So headless mode, if the drone is facing, say, forward, and you push forward, if the drone is facing away from you and you push forward on the remote control, it brings it forward. If you bring it backward, it comes backward. The drone recognizes where your remote control is at, and then forward would mean away from the remote control, and then backward would always mean bringing the drone towards the remote control. And of course, the other keys, the function of the other key joystick stays the same. So very important to note that. And if your GPS signal and your remote control signal is lost for maybe more than 6 seconds while in headless mode or return to home mode, the drone will descend slowly. So while in such a situation, the drone will descend slowly, and then if it picks up the signal, then you can move it up or take it to the left or bring it to where you are. So it depends on exactly what you want to do. And secondly, let's explain the return to home feature that I just mentioned right now. This is the return to home button. This is the headless mode button right here. Headless mode that I just explained. And then this is the return to home right here. Return to home. Okay. It is always good to make sure that your GPS signal is strong before you take off. That way, if you want to use the return to home feature, the drone will be able to trace itself back, and come to where it started. That's basically what the return to home feature is all about. But on certain occasions, if the GPS signal and the remote control signal are lost, like I was earlier mentioning, while you're flying, the fail-safe return function automatically will return your drone to the original point of flight where you took off. So This feature is only available when you begin your flight with a very strong GPS signal. Yes, once you begin with a very strong GPS signal and you're flying, the drone would always return to the original point where you took off. And another important thing to note is that if the GPS signal and the remote control signal is lost for 6 seconds again, while in return to home mode, this drone will descend slowly, like I earlier mentioned. So if it is in return to home mode and then it loses signal, it will descend slowly wherever it's at until you take control of it with your remote control. So you might just push it back up. Maybe you're above a pond, or you're flying by the beach and then it loses signal and you notice that it's descending. You put it in return to home and you notice that it's descending. Push it back up with your left joystick. Push it back up, take control, bring it home. If not, you're gonna lose your drone. Okay. Of course, we have the surround flight. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Once you put your drone on orbital shot, it goes into the surround flight mode. That simply means that if your remote control is right here, the drone will fly around at a certain distance, just keep going round and round at a certain distance, depending on what height you did put on the mode. It will just keep going round and round and round and round. And also, emergency stop. If you are in a situation where you need to stop quickly, okay, you push the 60%, I don't know whether it's clear, you push the 60% and the 100% all at once. Yep. You push both of them all at once and that will stop the drone and bring it down real fast. So you always want to avoid such circumstances. But yeah, you never know, you might need it. Just kill the drone and bring it down real fast. Sometimes it's to avoid certain events or damages, it's better for the drone itself to drop down real fast. So that's a very, very short review of the remote control of the Vivitar Aeroview. It is a very, very nice and easy drone to fly, very stable. And the Vivitar Aeroview remote control is decent. I like it. Not heavy, easy to manipulate, easy to use. So we've talked about the takeoff, one key takeoff and one key landing. Okay, one key landing, of course, once you bring the drone, before you use the one key landing, I didn't mention that. Before you use the one key landing, make sure you've flown your drone to an area where it's secure and you want to land. Usually what I do is I bring the drone closer to me and then bring it down, maybe up to maybe about 2 to 3 feet before I hit the one key landing, and then it just lands easily. It is always advisable to bring the drone down to a very safe height before you use the one key landing. Because say for example, if you're 100, 200 feet up and then you use the one key landing, it is not very safe. It will bring the drone down, no doubt. If you are at an open field, it will bring the drone down and land it safely. But I always prefer you to have a control, or I always prefer to have the control bring it down 2 to 3 feet before using that key, because there was once that I used the one key landing, and all of a sudden the wind picked up. It was a really high wind, and then it almost took the drone away. So I had to take back control, push it back up, fight the wind with it. Even though the drone is a very stable drone, but I had to try and fight, the wind, and then bring it down to a safe place, safe height before using the one key landing. So we've talked about headless mode, return to home, orbital, the 2 joysticks, the power button. Calibration is a whole different story. I have a video on that. So if you go to my channel, you'll see the video on calibrations. I appreciate all the comments that all the viewers have been giving me on that video. And we've also talked about the speed, the different speed, and the one key landing and one key takeoff. So that's a quick review of the Vivitar Aeroview remote control. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, leave your comments below. I will be happy to answer any further questions. And guys, I'm gonna do another video outside where I would explain and all the functions, and then flying the drone, so it will be a little bit easier to understand. But for now, I just felt it necessary just to explain this only before doing that one. So after watching this one, and if you watch the other one, then it will be very easy to understand and practice with it. So thank you. Please subscribe, leave your comments below. Have a great day.